Hi guys, till now we are discussing different crops in agriculture. In this video, we will discuss an important issue in agriculture, that is MSP, minimum support price. So how the government is trying to legalize the MSP, that issue we will see here in this video. The farmers again protesting, seeking legal guarantee for MSP to ensure fair prices for their produce. Okay, so the farmers are protesting for reasonable price for their crops. So what is MSP here? MSP means it is the minimum price for any crop at which government purchases it from farmers and is based on calculation of at least 1.5 times the cost of production incurred by farmers. So MSP is a rate at which the government will buy the produce from the farmer, and it should be a minimum cost so that farmer should not get any loss in case of demand fall. For example, tomato is, you see, for 1 year the production is so high. So what happen, automatically tomato rate falls. So in that case, what will happen? The farmers who produce tomato, they will incur losses. That's why the government will fix a minimum rate, even if the production is high, demand fell. At that time also, the consumer must pay some minimum amount to the crop so that the farmer will not get incur any losses. Okay, that is known as MSP, minimum support price. So the minimum support price is the price guaranteed by the government to buy the produce from the farmer in case of it is not sold out in the market. Okay, it is generally 1.5 times the value of produce. Suppose 100 quintal rice cost is around 1 lakh rupees, it will be 1.5 lakh, the MSP will be. Okay, like that. The MSP is rate at which government buys grains from farmers. This helps farmers bear the price volatility and endure a basic minimum income. So in case of rise or fall of prices, the farmer won't incur any losses. So how the MSP is fixed? The CACP, okay, it is the committee that fix the MSP for the people generally every year. The center announces the MSP which is not legally guaranteed for 22 mandated crops. Okay, so 22 important crops are there. For that, the government only fix the MSP. The no private parties will fix the MSP. Okay, it is a remunerative price, minimum price, fair and remunerative price or FRP for sugarcane on the basis of recommendations of CACP. So in this minimum support price, 14 kharif crops and 6 rabi crops and 2 commercial crops are listed. Okay, the 14 kharif crops are paddy, jowar, bajra, maize, ragi, tur, arhar, moong, urad, groundnut, soybean, sunflower, sesame, and niger seed and cotton. And the 6 rabi crops that the government will decide the MSP are wheat, barley, gram, masoor, lentil, rapeseed, mustard, and safflower. And 2 other commercial crops are there. For that also the government only decide the MSP. The farmers or farmer committees or agriculture societies or private parties don't have the right to decide the MSP. Those are jute and copra. Okay, the CACP takes into account various factors including demand and supply. So while deciding the MSP, the CACP will take into account several factors that decide the MSP of a crop. They are demand and supply. How much demand is there in the market, and the supply is equivalent to the demand, or there is shortage, or there is excess. Okay, like that they will decide. And cost of production. So apart, apart from cost of production, if the farmer has to get profit, so the value should be more than cost of production only. It should not be nearer to cost of production. In that case, what happened? The farmer will get less profit. And market trends, whether the people are prefer to use the product or not. Nowadays, what happens? People are happy with modern foods. Like chocolates are there, ice creams are there, pizza is there, burger is there. In that case, what will happen? They don't buy natural foods or natural products. Some products they won't even sell out in the market. Suppose jute is there, bajra is there. No one prefer to eat a jute or bajra roti nowadays. Always they prefer wheat or rice only. So in that case, is it possible to sell the product or not in the market? Also, the CACP decides. A minimum of 50% margin over the cost of production and likely implications of MSP on consumers. And whether if they increase the value of a product much more, if the consumer prefers to buy the product or not, also that factor also they have to observe here. They should not sell like that ki they fix a price and the people has to buy. It's not like that. So the CACP calculates three types of cost: A2, A2 plus FL, and C2 for each mandated crop for different states. So based on Swaminathan committee recommendations. So they take into account these all things for each mandatory crop for different states. So what is A2 here? It is the actual paid out cost incurred by farmer. How much cost the farmer is incurring to produce a product. A2 plus FL means the actual period out the cost plus value of family labor. So the actual cost spent on growing the crop plus value of family labor also, means the cost of production plus labor will be included. Suppose if the farmer hires some people to work in the farm, so then their value will be included in this. And C2, it includes A2 plus FL plus rent value of own land, and land value also added here because land is not free of cost. If a farmer takes for kharif or rabi crop, it takes around 4 to 6 months to grow. In 4 to 6 months, if he give the same land for rent, how much value he will get, that value will be added here and it will be calculated. So CACP eventually recommends and government announces MSP on basis of A2 plus FL. So CACP takes all these calculations into account and fix the MSP of a crop. So protest farmers demanding MSP based on C2 besides legal guarantee. And there is legal guarantee also, means there will be a legal agreement between the government and farmers who produce the crop. So what are the kharif crops? They are getting the covered under MSP: paddy, jowar, bajra, ragi, maize, arhar, moong, urad, cotton, groundnut, sunflower, soya beans, sesame, niger seed. What are the rabi crops? They are covered in MSP: wheat, barley, gram, masoor, rapeseed, mustard, safflower, and torai. Okay. So another crops that are covered in MSP are copra, dehusked coconut, jute, sugarcane. So the CACP recommends currently for 22 crops the MSP. So the government is deciding the MSP, but there is no legal basis for that. Means suppose a farmer do not get the MSP guaranteed by the government, he can't go to the court to file a case. That is the problem. Means it is not a legal thing in the constitution. It is just like a word, okay, like a promise made by government that people has to follow. So that is the problem. That's why they can't do any thing if government can't pay them the proper reasonable price. In that case, the farmers are doing protest. Okay. So MSP don't have any legal basis but is implemented since 1960s with the following objectives: ensuring food security in the country. So MSP ensures food security in the country, protection from price drop for farmers. So farmers should not incur losses in case of price drop for a produce in due to market volatility, that MSP ensures. So incentivize desirable crop production, and also it ensures desirable crop production. Suppose jute is not selling out much, so the farmers don't want to produce the jute. In that case, the government guarantees the MSP and encourage them to produce the jute. In the same sense, how MSP ensures food security means, suppose minimum produce is coming from the country only. In that case, the country need not to import from other countries. So like that, food security will ensured. Means suppose if India only producing enough rice, the government need not to import from the other countries. So there will be food security for the people in the own country, because we are producing the by our own. So there is no dependence from other countries. Suppose tomorrow any fight happen between countries, automatically they stop sending the uh, products, means they stop exporting the products. In that case, the country has to suffer. So what is the importance of MSP? It safeguard against price volatility and it saves farmers from to incur losses. The system of MSP acts as a tool for the government to control sharp fall and rises in prices of any crops. In case of sharp fall also, the government ensures a minimum price for the produce so that the farmer do not incur any losses. Surety of minimum prices. The MSP is announced before the sowing season so that farmer can make informed decision. So the government prior explain how much they pay for the produce. The farmer will stay with confidence. He won't incur losses producing some crop. Okay, hence supporting farmers from distress sales. So this MSP supports farmers from loss sales. Control crops short in supply by offering more price support for these crops so that more and more farmers are tempted to grow these crops. Suppose jute is there, no one prefer to produce jute. Why? Because people won't buy. In that case, the government will give an encouragement so that the farmers will get some MSP. In that case, they will be encouraged to grow the jute. Crop diversification. MSP for crops promotes their diversification and curbs import dependence and food inflation. Suppose a farmer is producing rice for years. He used to produce rice only. Then the government can encourage him to produce some commercial crop so that the government can earn some foreign exchange out of it. Like oil seeds are there, sugarcane is there, cotton is there, and also they save the country from food inflation. Suppose a farmer is not willing to produce rice. In that case, the government can ensure him he will get a minimum support price so that he will be encouraged to produce rice. Like that, some sort of means from the farmer who produce rice, they can divert him to commercial crops. The farmer who produce commercial crop, they can divert them to produce rice so that enough foreign exchange will be earned. At the same time, food inflation will be controlled. There are notable increase in MSP of pulses and oil seeds in 2021 in order to incentivize its domestic production. To ensure domestic production of oil seeds and pulses, the government has offered a minimum support price for these crops in 2021. Okay, food security. The government can use these crops to be sold at government fair prices, shops at lower price than market rate to the below poverty line people at lower price. The government brought one crop at MSP. Okay, so they are not getting any profit out of it. In that case, they can sell these produce to BPL families, so that some schemes will be implemented. They can save schemes money. Okay, because they have to provide some food under food security mission to BPL families every day. For that, government has to invest. So from that investment, government can be saved if they give the MSP prices crops to BPL families. Okay, development schemes like PM Poshan, ICDS, Anganwadi Services Scheme, TPDS rely on grains produced by FCI at MSP. So many schemes in the country are depend on crops brought at MSP, like Anganwadi services schemes are there, TPDSA is there, PM Poshan Abhiyan is there. Many schemes are dependent on MSP crops in the country. Okay. Till now we have seen what is MSP. Now let us see what are the MSP benefits and drawbacks or concerns. Okay, the Niti Aayog erstwhile Planning Commission conducted a study entitled Efficacy of Minimum Support Prices on Farmers in 2016. According to this study, among other things, that MSP declared by the government has encouraged 78% of farmers covered under the study for adopting improved methods of farming such as high yield varieties of seeds, organic manure, chemical fertilizer, pesticides, improved methods of harvesting, etc. So 78% of the farmers has improved the methods of farming a farm. Why? Because they are getting minimum price from the government. They are getting the encouragement that even if the price falls, they will get a proper standard price from the government. That's why they are in positive feedback. That's why they are using many advanced techniques in farming. Okay, like high yield varieties of seeds, they are using good quality of seeds, organic manures, chemical fertilizers. Apart from organic manure, chemical fertilizers also they are using, pesticides, and improved methods of harvesting the crop, means crop storage. Okay, sawing, etc. things also, in that also they are taking good care. In harvesting also they are taking good care. So government extends price support for paddy and wheat through the Food Corporation of India and state agencies. For paddy and wheat also government is operating through Food Corporation of India and state agencies. Additionally, oil seeds, pulses, copra of fair average quality are procured from registered farmers under price support scheme of umbrella scheme of PM Annadata A Sanrakshana Abhiyan as its prescribed guidelines. So, and apart from paddy and wheat, for oil seeds also through government schemes, they are offering better reasonable price, that is MSP. So, who decides the MSP under Government Commission for Agri Costs and Prices, CACP? This is the commission that decides the minimum support price for crops under government. 22 mandatory crops are covered under MSP under the government. So what are the problems or limitations of MSP? Means the farmer is committed to give the produce at a reasonable price at MSP to the government. Even if the prices rise due to inflation, he can't sell in the outside market. That is a negativity. Suppose for a produce, the farmer is getting in the market 2.5 lakhs, but the government is committed to take the produce at 1.5 lakh. So in that case, he has to sell to the government only at 1.5 lakh, incurring a loss of 1 lakh rupees. That is a disadvantage with the MSP scheme. So lack of legal guarantee, and there is no legal guarantee also. In case of farmer is not getting proper MSP, he can't go to the court and fight. Just he has to protest on the roads, and he has to fight directly with the government, but he can't go to the court and appeal for a case. That is the problem with the MSP. So lack of legal measures, farmers can't demand MSP as a matter of right. The only crop where MSP payment has some statutory element is sugarcane. Only sugarcane is having some sort of legal measures, not other crops. Okay, issue with cost of production. Sometimes the cost of production will go high, but government will pay whatever the MSP, that will be very less compared to cost of production. In that case also the farmer will get the loss despite MSP is in application. Okay, suppose farm activity says that 1.5 times MSP formula originally recommended by National Commission for Farmers headed by Agri scientist MS Swaminathan should have been applied to C2 costs. 1.5 times MSP what the government is giving only on production of the crop, but not for labor cost and land cost. On that 1.5 MSP, the farmer is not getting. So whatever the labor cost he is paying, land cost he is paying, that is going into a loss. So lack of effective data. The CACP doesn't have any field based cost estimate itself. So approximately the CACP is fixing one price, okay, market price. On market price, some cost is giving to the farmer, okay, but actual costs are not being calculated properly. That is the problem. Even the CACP don't have field data idea. Actual production cost is how much, labor cost is how much, land cost how much, that they are not calculating properly. And ineffective coverage, some crops are not covered. Only 22 to 23 crops are covered in the MSP. High unequal across states, and the MSP is unequal across the states. In 2019 20, roughly 90% of rice produced in Punjab and Haryana was procured by government, whereas roughly 1% was procured in Karnataka, Gujarat. So only some states are getting preference, some crops are getting preference, not other states are getting preference under MSP. Unequal distribution is there in MSP and ineffectively implemented. Even though MSP is in papers and written as a theory, it is not effectively implemented all over India. The Shanta Kumar Committee in its report 2015 stated that only 6% of farmers receive MSP, which directly means that 94% of the farmers in the country are deprived of benefits of MSP. So only out of 100% farmers in the country, only 6% farmers are getting MSP benefits. Only 6 farmers out of every 100 farmers are getting benefits under MSP. And lack of awareness. Many farmers don't know about MSP. Niti Aayog on MSP revealed that only 10% of farmers are aware of MSP prices, right price before the sowing season. So therefore, the legalization of MSP is needed. That's why there should be some legal provisions for MSP so that the farmers will get proper implementation of MSP. So legalizing MSP enables farmers to claim MSP rights enforceable through courts. Improved price realization from private sector should boost the rural economy, and there should be private sector participation so that some help or support the government will also get. Only the government is gone paying MSP, it is of no value. But if the private sector also join in this and they ensure proper MSP to farmers, then it would be a great idea. Okay, and diversification of any of MSP crops help farmers avoid high input costs of selected crops. So a farmer diverts to one particular crop to get proper MSP. But what happens? The production cost will be high. For suppose he is producing rice for years, for which the production cost is very low. Even though he do not get a proper price afterwards, he do not incur losses. But for MSP to get a proper MSP, he is shifting to crop diversification he is making, and he is going to commercial crops like cotton, oil seeds, etc. So in that case, what happens automatically the production cost will go high. Means production is going high and you are getting MSP. In that case also he is not getting proper profit. So again he is incurring into losses. So increased production of pulses and millets promotes climate smart agriculture. Farmers running for MSP are neglecting the environment. So farmers running for MSP, they are doing crop diversification in case of crops, normal food crops, they are producing commercial crops and they are ruining the environment by using lot of fertilizers. Okay. So what are the problems to legalize the MSP? There are many problems in the government to legalize the MSP. To make them enforced through courts. What are the problems means? It will lead to heavy subsidy burden on the government. So legalizing MSP means a new headache on the government. Suppose the government can't ensure the MSP to a farmer directly, he can go to the court. So another hurdle will comes on the head of the government. Ineffective grain management. Legalizing MSP will further aggravate the issues relating to grain management in India. So to get MSP, all farmers will go to one particular crop. So in that case, storage will also become a problem. Okay, and market distortion as the natural cycle of demand supply will be distributed. So farmers are go on producing only one crop, whatever the 22 crops are there in MSP, they go on producing the 22 crops only. Other crops they are not producing. So what happen? Automatically demand supply issue will be there. The 22 crops will be supplied more in the market. Demand will fall for them, and for other crops the demand will increase. Supply will decrease. So the other crops the government has to import from other countries. So like that the issues will come, demand supply issues will come in the market. It is more of a one size fit all approach as the ultimate solution for agri stagnation in the country is not MSP. So MSP should not be a reason for agriculture stagnation in the country. The government introduced MSP to help farmers, but it should not become a reason for market stagnation. So conclusion, legalizing MSP alone does not ensure financial sustainability in farming. Income support schemes like PM Poshan price deficiency systems like PM Asha offer more progressive solutions. So MSP, legalizing MSP is not only the solution, but other things also be set by the government. Subsidies in the crops, PM Poshan Abhiyan, okay, like that Anganwadi Abhiyans are there. All these schemes will be regularized so that MSP will get some benefits. As suggested by Swaminathan Commission, the methods of calculation need to be restructured to make it more profitable for farmers and encourage crop diversification. So the methods of calculation by CACP also should be efficient. It must include the land prices and labor prices also, not only the factors of production. But at the same time, other factors such as irrigation, soil, okay, knowledge, input, etc. also need to be considered to impart holistic development in agriculture sector of the country. Other things also, only blindly the farmer should not go for these 22 crops to get the MSP. In that case, he should be taken into account whether the soil is suitable for the crop or not. He is getting proper irrigation support in rain-fed areas for the crop to grow. Suppose rainfall is not there, sufficient rainfall is not there, irrigation is not available. In that case, the crop fails. In that case, the farmer should not blame the government. Because of government, I have grown this crop today, I gone into losses. Like that, blame should not come on the government. When the farmer is raising the crop, he should take into account irrigation, soil, and his knowledge whether he can grow the crop or not. These things should be taken into account. So to solve the all MSP issues, so the government has constituted a committee, okay, to legalize or to make recommendations whether to legalize or not, how the MSP thing will go. So that is called as Sanjay Agarwal Committee on MSP. So the union government constituted Sanjay Agarwal Committee on MSP to make it more effective and transparent. So the committee created around 8 months later, three farm acts were repealed. The government constituted a committee headed by former Agri Secretary Sanjay Agarwal to look into issues of minimum support price. To analyze the concepts of MSP, a government committee was constituted under Sanjay Agarwal. Okay. So what is the background? The government has announced a decision to repeal three farm laws and said it will constitute a committee to promote zero budget based farming, change crop patterns, keeping in mind changing needs of country, and make MSP more effective and transparent. Apart from MSP, they are considering other things also that are budget zero budget based farming and crop change patterns. And also following farmers protest also, this committee was constituted. Okay, when they are protesting against controversial farm acts, three farm controversial farm acts was repealed by the government. Following this also, they constituted a committee to look into the farmer laws and also at the same time MSP and zero budget farming and cropping patterns. Okay, government has asked to form a committee to consider their demand for legalizing MSP. So who are the members of the panel means the committee is headed by Sanjay Agarwal. Other members of the committee include members of Niti Ayog Ramesh Chand, Professor of IIM Hyderabad Sukhpal Singh, Chairman of Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative Dilip Sangani, Secretary of Department of Agriculture, Secretary of Department of Indian Council of Agri Research. Okay, these all are the people members in this committee. Okay, Secretary of Food and Consumer Affairs, Secretary of Cooperation and Textiles, representative from state governments of Karnataka, Sikkim, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha. Okay, committee will consist representative of central and state governments, farmers, agri scientists, and agri economists. Okay, these all are the members of the committee. So what are the tasks done by the committee? The Sanjay Agarwal committee tasked to make suggestions in a bid to provide greater autonomy to committee for agri costs and prices. So they make the suggestions to the commission for agri costs and prices. Okay, and to CACP also whether to legalize the MSP or not, and also other things, farm laws, farm acts also they will give suggestions. This move is directed towards strengthening agri marketing system in line with changing requirements of India. So they want to change the agri marketing system in the country with changing requirements of Indian government. Okay. So what are the objectives of the committee on agri marketing system? It will work for agri marketing as per changing requirements of country to ensure high value to the farmers through remunerative prices of their produce by taking advantage of domestic output and export. So with respect to changing requirements of the country, they will work on agri marketing system, and then the farmers will get the reasonable price for their produce. Okay, and natural farming also they will give some suggestions. It will suggest programs and schemes for value chain development, protocol validation, research for future needs, support for area expansion under Indian natural farming system. So whatever the things are there, issues are there with respect to natural farming, that are protocol validation, research for R&D for future needs, and expansion, whether crop expansion or diversification can be done or not. In these things also the committee will provide suggestions. Okay, and crop diversification also, based on MSP, the farmer can diversify the crop. Okay, he can change from to food crop to cash crop, or cash crop to food crop. That also this commission will suggest. It will look into the mapping of existing cropping patterns of agroecological zones of producer consumer states, review and suggestion on micro irrigation schemes. So they will suggest the farmers whether based on irrigation soil also they can produce one type of crop or not. Okay, so the committee has to deal with the issues relating to natural farming. So while giving the suggestions, the committee is also having some problems or issues with natural farming in the country. What are those issues means? Formulating strategies to make Krishi Vigyan Kendras and other R&D institutions as knowledge centers for natural farming. So they must legalize Krishi Vigyan Kendras and R&D centers as the mediators of knowledge on natural farming. So this is a big problem to legalize this. It takes a long process. They must get approval from the government. That is one issue here. And establishing a chain of laboratories to provide organic certification to products produced by natural farming, and they have to set up R&D centers to give a mark or logo on organically produced things of natural farming. Then only they will get a recognition. Otherwise they will be mixed with crops produced from fertilizers. So in that case organic production value will be gone. So for this chain of laboratories are required. For this also it is a long process and cost consuming thing, because they need approval from the government. So committee will work on crop diversification in order to make farmers out of wheat and rice cycles. Okay, and they have to work on crop diversification also, because one farmer is stick to rice or wheat production, it is very difficult thing to make him divert to other crops like oil seeds or pulses. It is a big thing, means changing a farmer ideology is a big thing in India, because they are not very educated. They do not understand what a research analyst is telling. They are basically illiterate, and they are basically stick to one ideology. Okay, so they don't want to change the ideology for anyone. That is the problem here. So making crop diversification from the farmers is a big thing, like a country in India where there is a lot of morals and culture and values to the people. Okay, it is finally map the existing cropping patterns of producer consumer and help in creating system to provide remunerative prices for sale of new crops. So the mapping, creating a mapping between production price and sale price also a big problem here. They have to analyze everything. They have to fix an MSP for each crop. That is also a big problem here. So finally map existing crop patterns of producer and consumer and helping creating system provide remunerative prices for sale of new crops. Okay, so this is all about MSP, friends. Hope you like the video. For many videos like this on our channel, please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you.